go first.
Yeah,
How do you
right.
know that?
It was...
Because we're Dave and Dave Unchained, and that's all we know.
All right, cool. The joke's on me then.
What did you think of Distance, which is Wolf's tribute to Ed?
I mean, how beautiful is that, huh?
Yeah, it was amazing.
How incredible is that?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you not get emotional? And I love the support that Van Halen fans are giving him because, you know, in that sense, whatever Wolf does is new Van Halen music, right?
Different kind, but it's still Van Halen music. Yeah, of course, it's a total extension. And well, listen, you should be so proud of your work. I can't tell you how much it means to Van Halen fans all over the world because we just had the Grammys and they didn't properly tribute Ed. And your tribute, and Wolf's, of course, have been the most heartfelt and loving tributes of all the ones out there. And it is going to last forever, and it's incredible. Is there any sort of agreement or contract of how long it can stay up? Will it stay up indefinitely? Can we hope?
Oh, it's staying up indefinitely, permanently.
Awesome. That's great. That's great to hear.
Those are the terms. The terms are I'm painting something that will last here as long as, I mean, forever, we hope. It's not temporary. That's a permanent mural. That wall doesn't even belong to Guitar Center anymore. That wall belongs to Van Halen fans worldwide. How about that?
Absolutely. That's amazing.
That.
That's
I
lovely,
like
man.
Knock the rest of the building down, but that wall stays up.
Right, exactly. They'll have to build around the wall.
That's right.
Yeah, build around the wall, whatever you're going to do, but that wall stays.
Exactly.
Van Halen army will show up, locked in arms. I got a real quick funny story I got to tell you.
Yes.
It's incredible. So at the unveiling, George Lopez, as the comedian, who's a friend of mine, he came out, huge Van Halen fan and also a friend of Ed's. He took the passing of Ed pretty hard. We connected, and I came over his house about a week and a half later. So he had a guitar that Ed had given him for his birthday, and it was the same guitar that Ed was playing at that Jimmy Kimmel show and pretty much that whole last tour. Blacktop kind of guitar, charcoal gray, black guitar. And there was only 4 of them. And this is the one that he had on tour. He gave it to him, and he was like, yeah, try it out. Go ahead and play. I was like, what? So I pick up the guitar. I go, can I plug it in? He's like, yeah. So then he has a half stack with like a little lunch box kind of head on it.
Right.
He goes, oh yeah, and Ed and his guitar tech also brought that over too. Wow. And they spec'd it out so that it to Ed's like, you know, specifications. So when I plugged in the guitar to Ed's 5150 amp, it was like fucking pulling out the sword in Excalibur, right? It was like, wow. And I ripped right into like, You Really Got Me. I played like Panama. And I was thinking to myself, because George is a nominal guitar player, I was like, no one's probably played these songs on this guitar since Ed played the guitar. So
right.
I was so fucking stoked. It was funny because George was just taking pictures of me. When I looked at those pictures, and then I went back and looked at some old pictures, any picture pretty much of Ed, but Ed playing that same guitar, it's like the smile that I had playing the guitar came with the guitar because, of course, Ed was always smiling playing the guitar.
Of course.
And it was just a beautiful thing.
That's awesome, man. That's a great story. And what an incredible thing to experience. What a wonderful thing. Thank you so much for your time, Robert. Congratulations on an amazing job. Well done. And from all the Van Halen fans across the world, want to thank you for doing right by Ed.
You know what? I really, really appreciate that, man. You guys keep waving the flag. And there's another component coming down the pike. We should stay connected because there's something else that I'm working on with another member of the band.
Really?
That I will not mention yet. Could potentially happen. And you guys will be the first to know about it.
Wow. You're kidding me. So, like,
wow.
When you say
is
another
like
member...
Another painting or...
A painting or
Perhaps.
Could it perhaps be like an album cover?
Look at you guys. Come on, Dave. Give me a break.
Yeah.
I was waiting for
all right. I'll tell you what, when it comes to fruition, when it's a real thing, you got to promise to give a call, and we talk about it.
Is there a time frame, Robert, any time like this year, next year?
I'm trying to get this going soon, like in the next month or 2 months. If it happens, it'd be really, really cool. We also didn't talk about another component of the mural, the AR component.
AR, what's that?
You guys not know about that?
No.
No, we don't.
Okay, well, hold on to your caps. So at the unveiling, and this Guitar Center didn't even know about this. Now they know, but I'm just saying at the time they didn't know. At the unveiling, what I did was thanked everybody, and then now I'm going to drop this on you guys. Scan that QR code right over here that's on the wall, and then stand on that spot on the ground that I painted, which is like the red, white, and black kind of stripes circle on the ground in the parking lot, and then put your phone up to the mural. And when you do that, AR is augmented reality. So when you put your phone up facing the wall, a lightning bolt hits the guitar, and then Eddie starts playing. His fingers on his guitar start moving up and down the fretboard. His strumming hand is moving. He's kind of cocking his head back and forth, and you hear eruption on your phone.
Oh, my God.
First of all, that is the coolest thing ever. And how did you do that?
I teamed up with this company, and I thought about this. Of course, this is fucking Eddie Van Halen, and someone who's more than a guitar player, but an innovator. How can I use innovation in my art to step up and create something that transcends the experience? So that's one way that Ed inspired me, literally while painting him, is let me elevate my game, my mural game, by creating an experience that's virtual where people watching it in front of the mural, they can almost witness a concert. That's why Long Live the King, that Eddie lives, that Eddie's animated. And there's some reference to just a live performance in a time when everything is dead, at least here in LA. How incredible was that for people to experience when they're there, to see that and see them come to life? There aren't any murals that do that.
There's no words for that. Is that explained?
That was phenomenal. That was my eruption moment. That was me tapping the...
That is an eruption moment. That is a phenomenal blending of traditional art and technology to make something new, which is what Ed did. I mean, you are carrying on his inspiration.
And when people go there, is there anything explaining that to them so they know how to do it?
Yes, there's a QR code right there, and it's like the Eddie Van Halen experience, and you just scan that code and you stand on that spot, you put your phone up, and then the actual mural itself starts to move. It's like this animated process, but it doesn't look like a cartoon or anything. It feels good. If you go to my Instagram, you can actually see small clips of it.
Okay, cool. Definitely check that out. What was the unveiling like? Who was involved, and what was that whole ceremony like?
Well, I produced it. I really wanted to cover the wall and give it a proper unveiling, a proper show, just like you'd find at a rock concert. Guitar Center and myself put this thing together, but it was really driven by me. And, of course, all the rock stars came out, and it was just cool to see their support. Of course, everybody drove from all around. There were people that actually flew in to be there for it.
That's incredible. What a moment.
We did a 3-2-1, the curtain dropped, and then I walked up to the guitar tone knob that I painted on the guitar. It looks really realistic. So what I did is I simulated like I was turning it right before I signed it. So I turned it, and then I had my guy, kind of fade into eruption, and then went up, signed the mural, wrote Long Live the King, and then just handed it over to the community.
That's incredible, man. Unbelievable. Wow. Now, do you have to do touch-ups to that after? Do you have to put another coat on it of the sealant as time goes on? Do you have to maintain it?
Probably in another 5 years, we'll take a look at it. Personally, because this mural means a lot to me, I will definitely make sure that it's always kept, it's never falling apart. As long as I'm here, that's how that mural is going to look. It's going to look as fresh and as vibrant as it did the day I unveiled it.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing this time with us.
Absolutely, guys. Long live the king.
You got it, man. Thanks again.
Long live the king.
Long live the king.
Hey guys, this is Eric Torbeck from New Jersey. Congratulations to Dave and Dave on 5 rockin' years of podcast domination. Hopefully soon we can celebrate in person and raise a glass. Cheers, my friends.
Martin Popoff here. Hope you're enjoying this latest episode of Dave and Dave Unchained, the wise swamis on all things VH. Just wanted to remind you that at martinpopoff.com, I've got 2 Van Halen books that I wrote. One is Van Halen, a visual biography, which is basically a big hardcover coffee table book, 400 images, 20,000 word detailed timeline. And the other one is called Unchained, a Van Halen user manual. It's the sort of 120,000 word, very academic, a lot of crazy chapters, a lot of trivia, wordy book that I did on Van Halen. So yes, go to martinpopoff.com. I sign and ship those out of my office here in Toronto. There's PayPal buttons for the US, international, and Canada. Again, Van Halen, a visual biography, and Unchained, a Van Halen user manual. Back to Dave and Dave.
Greetings, Dave and Dave. This is Curtis Longclow, a.k.a. Southeast Kurt. And by the way, please don't feel bad about not being able to pronounce my surname. I've been dealing with that my whole life, so it's no big deal. Anyway, I wanted to let you know that I first discovered your podcast, Dave and Dave Unchained, via the Van Halen news desk a few years back. In fact, I believe I listened to your first episode sometime in early 2017. At that point, you had already produced a handful of episodes. Finding your podcast was a delight, especially when I discovered you're dedicated to celebrating all eras of the band as well as the many side projects which were birthed as a result of Van Halen. Additionally, the two of you, along with a small handful of other podcast hosts, really inspired me to launch my own podcast last May. The Retro Zest podcast focuses on all things retro-related, whether that be movies, music, TV shows, or pop culture. Actually, I've had the opportunity to do a few episodes which are Van Halen-related, including a memorial episode for Eddie right after he passed away. You may find those Van Halen-related episodes at retrozest.com/Van Halen. Additionally, all episodes of my podcast may be found at retrozest.com/podcast. Anyway, enough with the shameless plugs. Dave and Dave, I wanted to congratulate you and to wish you guys a very happy 5th anniversary. Thank you so much for keeping all of us Van Halen fanatics connected to all news and information related to the greatest American rock band of all time, the mighty Van Halen. And on a personal note, thank you for inspiring me to be a podcast host and to do so with the same spirit of excellence which you demonstrate. Stay frosty, my friends.
Check out the new podcast, The Rock Quarry, your place to hear in-depth interviews with some of rock's most colorful characters, with your host, entertainment journalist David J. Criblay. The Rock Quarry is available for free on Spreaker and iTunes. You can check us out on Facebook at The Rock Quarry Podcast, on Twitter at Rock Quarry Pod, on Instagram at The Rock Quarry Podcast, or email us at therockquarrypodcast@gmail.com.
Hey folks, I'd like to introduce you to the Classic Rock Album by Album podcast. Welcome to the Classic Rock Album by Album podcast, where no stone is left unturned in the show's epic quest to review and dissect every single rock album ever made. Join self-proclaimed rock authorities Chris Carson and Lee Bowie on their epic journey to uncover the true classics. You can find the Classic Rock Album by Album podcast wherever podcasts can be found, including Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Our website address is classicrockalbumbyalbum.libsyn.com. That's LIBSYN.com. And we can be reached on Facebook at fb.me/Classic Rock Album by Album. See you soon from the Classic Rock Album by Album podcast.
Hi, this is Richard Beanstalk, co-author of Nothing But a Good Time, The Uncensored History of the 80s Hard Rock Explosion, and you're listening to Dave and Dave Unchained.
This is Dave Two Sheds Roberts from Tacoma, Washington, wishing Dave and Dave a happy 5th anniversary. Congratulations, guys. You know, one of my favorite things about your podcast is that it really feels like I am part of my favorite conversation, talking all things Van Halen. All of you out there, you know as well as I that Van Halen is the greatest American rock band of all time, and Eddie Van Halen belongs in the same sentence as Mozart and Beethoven. Congratulations, guys. Here's to another 5 years.
Need a laugh? Check out the Funny How Comedy Podcast, which focuses on upbeat conversations with legendary comedians. It's free on Spreaker and iTunes. Check us out